Hello everyone, I am Tacit and welcome to the Gems of War Campaign 4 Week 10, Day 5 live stream. Of course, for the final week of this campaign, we have ourselves the very lovely Vault event. Great time to be grinding pretty much everything in the game, particularly explore, challenges, quest lines if you haven't already done them, as well as PvP and arena. Of course, we'll mostly be focusing on the explore because we can use the very extremely quick kill team. We did a video earlier this morning going over a bunch of different teams that can be used to farm various resources, as well as the Vault event itself. However, of course, the main one that we've been using is the double Iron Hulk one, where we just go over to Cinemirage and end up killing it out. A couple different kingdoms you could do that, but we've just been doing it Cinemirage, and boom, dead, and just repeat that. And that's pretty much what we're doing for the farm. Anyways, aside from that, we also have 110 gems, well technically 130, but 110 gems on the bottom side of the adventure board today, so definitely make sure to grab that. And aside from all that, and probably the first thing we'll start with, oddly enough, is we still have some more event battles to do. So we'll go do that for the guild. This should be the last battles we have to get in, and then in the guild we'll get in the last of the points on their own. Well, let's go contribute to our guild contributions. Help them out real quick. It's only going to take a few minutes anyways, be like 6-8 battles. Get them in, then go back to the grind. That is the game plan. Anyways, hello Ricardo, hello Camping, hello Cookie, hello everyone else, welcome. Are any of the Vault Breaker offers worth it? The very first one isn't too bad. The other two are a bit pricey for what they are. But the very first offer is decent. The other two, not so much. The Epic Vault Key is definitely overpriced because the Epic Vault Key is basically worth 3 Vault Keys, but is currently costed at way higher than 3 Vault Keys. So that's a little bit unfortunate, but the bottom one's always worth it, or not the bottom one, or you know the $2 one for a Vault Key and 100 gems. That one has always been pretty good value, and that middle one for a pet bait isn't really that good either. So basically, just the one that's $2 is kind of worth it. I personally don't get them, but that one is decent value. The other two are not. Also, we already got ourselves 8 Vault Keys. Don't even need to spend for them. Of course, you can easily just grind for them. 5 Vault Keys takes like an hour and a half of grinding, or 2 hours, or 3 hours. It depends on luck or lack thereof. We'll throw that down. Get our double. Still been using the Truffle Infinite Loop. There's quite a few teams, but I like my truffles. We'll do it when we can. We don't have too many instances where we could bring out truffles these days. Well, not that we can't, but there's just normally other stuff that I'd prefer using. It's a nice change of pace to bring truffles back. So every single battle here is a Servant of Deo. Which I believe at this point are less points. We can actually check right now if it does something else here. Probably should have checked earlier. But let's see how many points we get for this battle. And then check how many points we get for Deo. So we got 2 loyalty for this one. Wait, why is it not scaling? Only 2? That's weird. Maybe I am getting a bit less then. I thought it had a scaling thingy thing this week. Apparently not. The Deos might be higher. The ultra rare ones. Because of course they would make the scoring that convoluted. What's new? Because I think the other ones give 5. But it's supposed to have some kind of scaling thing based on how many times you do it. Oh, that one gave 10. Interesting. Now that one scaled properly. The other one didn't seem to. Oh, it's a slight variable amount. Oh, oh well. We already did so incorrectly at this point, doesn't really matter. It won't matter. Please, regardless of what we do at this point, we are out of sigils. So the guild will carry the rest tomorrow. There we go. Nice, quick, easy. While we're doing side stuff, I guess we'll go clear out all the side stuff. And then we'll get into the vault grinds. Actually, we could use this for the lower battles. For the 2 commons, I believe it runs through the entire thing. So boom, dead. Easy as that. Also, it is technically possible to find gnomes in these 10 battles. So hello, Ricardo. Hello, Captain. Hello, Logic Slayer. Hello, Isabel. Hello, Scout. Hello, everyone else. Welcome, welcome. That died in 1 shot. Agreed that does 0 damage when casting killed the entire enemy team because of Ironhawk. Hello, Hung. Welcome. Alright, this will be the last one we can get away with Dust Devil. Actually, that's not true. The first battle of Legendary, I think we can get away with it. Every battle beyond, then we'll have to use Vinicio. Yeah, we can get away with it on this battle. It is the very last one we can get away with it on, though. Alright, now we have to use a real team. Phoenicia. Always nice when we see gems on the adventure board. One of the better ones for sure. Absolute best one's the VIP key one, though. Actually, that's not true. Technically, the best ones are anytime we get mythic deeds. There is a mythic deed offer. Oh, so I just realized something. There's not a deed book offer, is there? Or not an offer, but you know, a adventure board thingy. I don't believe there is. Because the mythic deed one gives like 10 deeds and 2 Imperials. Or was it 3 Imperials? It was a lot of Imperials. But, yeah, it doesn't give a deed book. And don't you need like 50 of them, or is it 30? I think it was 50. They require so many for a deed book. Hopefully they'll add more ways to get them in the near future. Let's clear out dungeons, and then we get a gnome grind. Currently we're at 4-4. 4 for 4. I wish we had 4 epic Volkeys. Could you imagine? Actually, we technically do have 4 epic Volkeys. In the sense that, I think we have that many in our storage, or somewhere's near there. These aren't from this event, of course. Haven't gotten any yet this event. Actually, what is our stash of epic Volkey at these days? We have 5 epic Volkeys, actually. Oh, 0 of them are from this event, of course. Where are we? Finish out dungeons? Oh, you've been drawing today. Nice. You just opened 2 chests in a row and got 2 mythics. That is exceedingly lucky. Very nice. Very, very nice. Alright, now that we got all that out of the way very quickly, we can now go back to grinding. Which, of course, we're using the team I mentioned earlier. We're using Greed, Dust Devil, Double Ironhawk. Wins about 6 times per minute. We can actually push ever so slightly above that, like 6.5. But that's about its max. And pretty much half of it is loading screens. Because it wins so quick. The battle itself is like 3 seconds. Yeah, from the time we can actually click the cast button, I think the battle lasts for 1 second. Does a timer for this match even start? It does, because it still starts during that loading part. So theoretically, the game's counting that as like an 8-second battle. Yeah, from the time the cast button lets us cast, it's basically a 1-second battle, which is pretty funny. But realistically, it's closer to an 8 to 10-second battle, counting loading screens and everything. And menuing. And of course our first gnome drop's going to be something awful, just a double miner, unfortunately. We've been doing really bad on gnome drops today. Volkeys have been fine, but the actual drops from the gnomes, we've been getting pretty unlucky. I don't think we hit a single 1000 glory yet. And as far as like the bigger reward on soul gnome and stuff like that, we've been hitting it very rarely. So I'm pretty sure 1000 glories, which is rather unlucky because that's the best loot that isn't a Volkey. And I'm pretty sure we haven't hit it a single time, unless it happened while I wasn't paying attention, which is possible. Because I do look at chat a lot more when we're doing vault keys, or you know, farming for them. And if anyone has any questions or anything you want me to go over, do let me know. The vault events are the perfect time to do so. Well, technically any stream, but particularly vault events. So we're pretty much always looking at chat. Since the battles are pretty straightforward. So we're going to gain a level this stream for sure. Actually, we'll hand out a redeem code when we hit a level. I also said this weekend, our first epic Volkey, I'll hand out an extra redeem code as well. So I might hand out 2 this stream if we get an epic Volkey. We'll do one when we hit a level, and we'll do one this weekend whenever we hit our first Volkey. Epic Volkey, I mean. That is the game plan. Another gnome. He did give me the 4 gem key drop earlier, which is pretty nice. That is not it, though. That's his best drop that isn't Volkey. Technically 3 event keys as well. Gosh, he's everywhere. And he keeps wanting to give us a similar drop. At least it was 20,000 gold that time. A bit better. He can actually drop up to 50,000 gold, which means theoretically he could drop 60,000 gold in a Volkey, which is quite a substantial amount of gold, though very rare. Nothing like Glory Gnome, though. 1,000 glory is basically an hour worth of glory, if not more. Whereas something like 50,000 gold is only like 10 minutes worth of gold, if you're using an optimal gold farming team. Can they drop epic Volkey? Yes, every gnome can drop an epic Volkey. Whenever they drop a Volkey, there's a 1 in 10 chance or so that it'll be an epic Volkey instead. So about every 10 Volkeys, you'll get an epic Volkey, approximately. That doesn't count pity, though. Specifically that left number, the bigger one. Or the, well, actually they're the same right now. What's normally the bigger number. But only specifically the ones found off a gnome have a chance for it. Not the pity keys from the X amount of gnomes. But every time you get one of the normal ones from an actual gnome, about 1 in 10 chance when it drops a Volkey, that'll be an epic Volkey. Which means generally we should get about 1 epic Volkey every Vault weekend. Though that doesn't always happen, of course. $1,000 glory? Or something better? that is neither of those two things. I'm not sure why. I'm pretty sure we've hit 0 1,000 glories this weekend. Unless I missed it, I am pretty sure we're at 0 1,000 glories. I'm not sure what's up with the glory gnome this weekend. But it does not want to give it to us. Would you recommend getting Mother of Darkness? Yes. Just for the Night Spider team? Yes. There is a small chance they'll nerf Night Spider, but there's a good chance they won't. But there's a small chance they could. However, as long as Night Spider stays exactly as it is now, Mother of Darkness is absolutely insane. And even if they slightly nerf Rogue Spider, like 1 less gem spawn per rogue, it's still probably high enough to be efficient enough to run. Obviously, it would be better if they didn't nerf it. I don't think they would nerf it, though. It kind of has a bit of a Phoenicia issue, in the sense that something could come around that would just make it better, or that could make it obsolete. It's one of those kind of situations, where currently it's really good, but it could become obsolete in the future. One example of that, too, is Scorpius, where he was really meta about 1.5 years ago or so. And while he still can be usable for quite a few things, he's not as meta, because we kind of knew as soon as the Explorer didn't have, or finally had immune to poison every single one, he'd become a little bit less efficient. And that's what ended up happening. And seriously, it will not give me 1,000 glory. It just refuses to today. Not sure why. Has anyone else been getting really unlucky with a glory gnome? Or is it just me? Pretty sure we've gotten like 20 glory gnomes. Not a single one has dropped 1,000 glory yet. If I'm not mistaken, next week is the reset week for the Soulforge. So anything could be in Soulforge next week. So if there's any mythics you're still looking for, keep an eye out for them. Because they should all be able to start rotating now. It could still take a couple months. But every mythic should start rotating again. With the only exception being Deo, which is available right now. He's not, shouldn't be in this rotation. So it'll be a while before he's in Soulforge. But every other mythic should be in rotation then. I believe the rotation takes a little over 3 months. How many mythics there currently are. So if there's any mythic you're looking for, it is about 3 months away or less. Could even be next week. Actually, one thing that's kind of funny, because it's right at the cusp of the reset. If it's the exact amount, I actually forgot. Did we even check to see if it was the exact amount? Because if it's the exact amount, one funny thing that can actually happen is a troop that was available this week could be available next week. Actually, that would still be the case even if it wasn't. Let me go double check though. Was it right at it, or was there one that was random? You can see with the Soulforge troops. Let's see. Oh yeah. It was right at the end of it. So that means, yeah, we could have any of these 4 troops next week. That'd be really funny. So next week, we could literally get Ketris the Bull again, or Mother of Darkness again, or the Scourge, or Voice of Orpheus. It has happened before, though the chance that it happens again is not extremely high chance. And technically, as more mythics come into the game each time, it becomes increasingly less likely it would happen. Though it is technically possible that one of the mythics we had this week will actually be available again next week. I think it's only ever happened once or twice before. But whenever it happens right at the end of the rotation, it can. Are the Apocalypse mythics useless? No. Well, kind of. They're currently not used for kingdom upgrades, so in that regard, they're useless. However, as far as actual usability, Famine is probably the only one that's not completely useless. It's not as meta as it used to be, but it's still usable. It's one of the best mana drainers still in the game. It does a full mana drain to all enemies, assuming they don't have immune, while also doing a lot of damage to one single target. He's a bit of a slow option, but he's good at not losing. He's kind of like a rope dart in that regard. You could also use it with rope dart if you really wanted to. But it generally plays a bit slower, but is really good at not losing. Even slower than rope dart. But if the enemy team has no way to have immune to mana drain, it's pretty good. I wish I would give him the Jinx trait back. He used to have Jinx trait, and it was the most useful Jinx trait that has ever been on a troop ever. They ended up removing it because it kind of encouraged using Double Famine. And Double Famine used to be very annoying back in the day. That was before mana drain immunity even existed. Still wish they would add it though, because Double Famine would be a lot weaker in the current meta than it used to be, even if it had Jinx. Currently, there is actually 0 viable Jinx builds ever since they got rid of Jinx on Famine, which was done like 3 or 4 years ago. It's a mechanic that actually can build entire teams, but there's currently no composition between all the troops that have Jinx, to the point where Jinx builds do not exist. But it's a rather interesting premise because it drastically reduces the chance that a enemy would be able to get a surge on 3. One single Jinx doesn't do much later in the game. However, 2 Jinxes will about half the chance of getting a mana surge. And if a team could do that without really wasting their other traits, it could be pretty good. The only problem is nothing simultaneously has Jinx while also not being horrible. But if we ever get some good Jinx options, Jinx builds could start making their way into the game. We just need like a really good mana accumulating Jinx and a really good damage source Jinx. We could start seeing Jinx builds again. But yeah, it's been a very long time since builds like that have existed. Almost as long as Dust Devil existing. No, not that long. But it's been like 3.5, 4 years since the actual meta Jinx build has existed. Currently, you could theoretically build around Jinx, but none of them are particularly good. Mostly because the options we have right now are awful. If we go type in Jinx real quick, this is everything we have for Jinx right now. Let's see. Pretty bad, extremely bad, pretty bad, bad. It's usable. Bad, bad. That was actually usable. Usable. Bad. At least outside of Arena. Bad, 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 bad. You have Jinx? Wait, Zugaf has Jinx? I almost forgot. Okay, there's one good troop that has Jinx. Technically 2. Green Slime's not horrible. And Nobody and Brother isn't, but normally the compositions you would use it in don't really have the ability to fit them. It's like Green Slime and Zugaf are like the only 2 Jinx builds or troops in the game. Because most of these other ones are pretty bad relative to that. But I kind of forgot, Zugaf has Jinx. Though the problem is 1 Jinx does almost nothing. You need at least 2 Jinx on your team, and you would never use 2 Zugafs on your team. For the very obvious reason that that's just too much of a mana cost. But yeah, I kind of forgot he has Jinx. It's not something you really utilize. The reason why 1 Jinx is really bad is it halves the mastery, not the chance of actually surging. So if someone has like 500 mastery and it goes down to 250, 500 mastery gives something like, what, 60-something% surge chance? Whereas 250 mastery gives like a 50-something% surge chance. So 1 single Jinx only knocked it down by about like 10% or so, 10 to 20%. Whereas double Jinx would knock it down by like 30 or 40%. So 1 single Jinx this late in the game does pretty much nothing. Which is kind of why I forgot Zugaf has it. Because it basically does nothing when only 1 is on your team. But when you have 2 or 3 on your team, it actually is pretty effective. Because whenever the AI takes a 3, there's a good chance they will not surge on it. Which obviously makes them accumulate mana a lot slower. And if you have it Jinx on troops that aren't really using the Jinx, like Zugaf, where it's pretty much just a free good trait, you're not going out of your way to even have the Jinx. So you still have all your other good stuff while just having a free Jinx on top of it. It's just very ineffective when you only have 1, though. And theoretically, Green Slime could be built into a Zugaf team. But there's just other Zugaf teams that are better. Also, when you're doing quick kill Zugaf, it doesn't really matter if you have Jinx or not. Only on longer battles like Guild Wars would it really matter. And in that case, you would only be able to do it on blue guild war day. Two greed gets you 666 gold. That's funny. That is pretty funny. I keep forgetting how much XP this team gives. I haven't used this team since pretty much the previous Vault event. It's been a while since I brought this out. It's really good though. Its main purpose is, of course, farming. Two purposes for this team. One is it's the quickest team in the entire game for farming the Vault events, which obviously it's the Vault event this weekend. And its other purpose is it has the quickest XP rate in the game. Which, of course, is pretty nice. Because that's something I don't normally farm. So it allows us to farm quite a bit of it during Vault events. Because there's a lot of people starting to reach level 2000 these days. I was going to go check Global. I want to see if Global had any 2000s. They're probably not. They're probably busy grinding. Let's see. Settings, Global 1. Hello, Global 1. Let's see. 1,300, another 1,300, 3 different 1,300s. 1,500. Nope, I don't think we have any 2000s in Global. Not today. Actually, I think I'm still the highest level in my guild. Let's see. Barely. There's only a 23 level difference now. However, we are still the highest level in our guild. Actually, if someone has higher, I think that'll be the first time anyone has ever had higher level than me in my own guild. It's close. Very close. Not quite yet, though. Also, Isabel's been getting pretty high level, too. Farming all those events. But we're still the highest. That's not going to last for long, though. I'm pretty sure quite a few of those people farm the game more than me currently. Because, of course, we did a lot of our farming in the past. Not that we don't farm anymore. Obviously a bit less than other people. Some people throw like 50 hours at the Vault event. If not more. Like 10 plus every day. Oh, did I finally get 1,000 glory? I wasn't even paying attention there. I sure hope that was 1,000 glory. Let me double check the replay. Yeah, it was! Yay, finally. Okay. We got at least one 1,000 glory. Finally. Yeah, the Rogue team's still one of my favorite teams in the entire game right now. The 4x Rogue with Night Spider that uses Mother of Darkness. It's a really fun team. It's really consistent too. Though it can still fail to loop. But it's still relatively consistent. Not as consistent as Truffle. But probably the next most consistent team in the entire game that isn't Truffle loop. Another gnome. Also, I think we got our next pity key already. It sure seems like it was enough gnomes. Does that mean we're going to get a Vault key? Nope, 5,000 souls though. Getting all the big drops back to back. Yep, there's our 5th key. Oh no. It's always weird when the pity keys are higher than the amount of keys you found. If you have 7 or more pity keys, and your amount of keys found is less than that, you know you're doing really bad. On luck. Because generally by about 7 or so pity keys, your amount of keys found should definitely be higher than your pity keys by then. And if it's not, you're getting a little unlucky. Though of course there's nothing that can be done about it other than grind more. But that's the easiest way to tell if it's been lucky or unlucky. Another 1,000 glory. I was saying we weren't getting any. Now we're just getting only 1,000 glory and 5,000 souls. All gnomes can drop the keys. Every gnome in the game can drop Volkey and Epic Volkey. Even Pet Gnome can. Actually, one interesting property about Pet Gnome is if it does drop a Volkey or Epic Volkey, it is the only gnome in the game where you get both the gnomes drop as well as the key drop. It is the only gnome in the game that's like that. Every other gnome, the key replaces the drop that you would have gotten instead. But on a Pet Gnome, you get both. That should be pretty cool if all gnomes were like that. But only Pet Gnome. Am I the guild leader of my guild? Yes, we created the guild about 4.5, 5 years ago. Somewhere around there. I think it's almost 5 years. Whatever this number of days is. However many years, 1,765 days is. Gosh, it's becoming a big number. Let's see, what's that number divided by 365? 1765 divided by 365. We created this guild 4.8 years ago. That sounds about right. Almost the 5-year mark. Because I think we created in like June or July or somewhere around there. So that makes sense. Yep, the guild's almost 5 years old. Oh yeah, because we did it on that Twitch stream. Back when we were still on Twitch. Yeah, that makes sense. So we did it around very late June or early July of 5 years ago. Which is what, 2016? Or was that 2017? 2016. Oh yeah, we had a restructuring of the guild at one point. That's kind of when the guild went a little bit more casual as well. Oh no. Mother Darkness lived. And then instantly died. That's why you're in your own guild, no drama. I don't know, the guild has been pretty tame since then. Also, there's just so many loops to obtain from a guild. You always need like some amount of cooperation in the guild. Because that's where we get all the free orbs. Because there's almost no free orbs that you would get if you weren't in the guild. Because almost every free orb except for the Tuesday orb is obtained via guild. The next closest team to this would be to use Rowan build, which is a completely different team, but it's hero with any weapon that doesn't block Rowan, followed by Rowan, Leprechaun, and Mirage Queen. It can win about 4 times per minute, 3 to 4. This currently does about 6 per minute. However, Rowan is the next closest thing you could do without Ironhawk. This is about 50% quicker. But it requires 2 Ironhawks. Do we get more rewards if we use a Vault Key during a Vault event? Not really. Oh! We got it! We got it. Oh, we're gonna have to hand out 2 codes almost back to back. I did say that we would hand out a code on our first Epic Vault Key this weekend. And I also said we'd hand out a code when we hit level 1,640. So we're about to do 2 codes really quick. But there we go. We finally found it. Very nice. We can now make that 0 into a 1. I knew we'd find one. I had a 0 there for a reason. I knew we'd find the Valky. There we go. Very lucky. But anyways, let me go hand out the first code. And then I should probably start prepping the second one because, gosh, we're going to sand it up pretty soon. Let's see. So keep the code section open because we're about to drop 2 very quickly. Put that in there. Put that in there. Put that in there. And there you guys go. There's the redeem code. Use on gemsofwar.com if the game code section. Your invite code can be found in your settings menu. Whatever your game says in the bottom left corner right over here is where you put in for your invite code. Redeem code is right over there in chat. Just copy and paste random numbers and letters. And give same word as always. 2 treasure maps, 1 gem key, 200 souls, and 2,500 gold. Enjoy, everyone. And we'll have another one very soon, as soon as we hit that level. So might as well keep that tab open. Also, feel free to leave a like on the stream. Helps out a lot and is greatly appreciated. Yeah, nice to see an epic Valky for free without having to pay money. They are really overpriced for the epic Valky here. An epic Valky is worth 3 Valkys, which means at most this should be like way less than that. Because theoretically, if you just ignore the gems, it's basically $12.50 for a epic Valky, which is way too priced. Because if you do it based on this, it should be $6, but it's double that, which is double the price that it should be. Anyways, let's keep grinding. Let's get that level. Yeah, I do not advise buying the epic Valky. The normal Valky is fine to buy, but the epic one is way too overpriced. Same as the pet food, or the pet bait, whatever it's called. Both too overpriced. Yep, no problem for the code, everyone. And apparently we'll have another one in a few minutes. As soon as we hit next level. Glory no. The stream's been quite a bit better than this morning stream. Between all the loots. Do pet gnomes appear more often during the event? Yes. All gnomes do, including pets. It's one of the few times your guild can basically perpetually keep a pet up every single hour. Speaking of that, what pet do we currently have? Or do we not have a pet active? I don't think we do at the moment. You actually need people in your guild farming PvP. Otherwise, it's not going to help. I personally do not, though. But yes, gnomes do have a higher rate. I mean, pet gnomes as well. They can be found only in PvP and Arena. So if you're not farming PvP or Arena, you will not find any. But if you are farming PvP and Arena, they will be about 3 times more often than normal. Making it a lot easier to perpetually have one going every hour. One strategy that some guilds do is they'll farm PvP when they don't have a pet gnome active, and then go back to explore once they do have a pet gnome active. I personally just stay and explore the whole time. But that is one way to do the vault event. Well, if nothing else, one benefit of not having a gnome active or a pet active is we can actually see how many keys we have or our pity number. Otherwise, we can't see it otherwise. Or at least until we do the pet. But if it's a pet that we don't need, I generally don't do it. Because, oddly enough, pet battles do not have any chance for pet gnomes while you're doing the 8 battles for the pet. There's a 0% chance of finding a gnome while you're doing it. Oh, another 5,000 souls. Nice. Gosh, we hit like 10,000 souls. And, yeah, almost 3,000 glory this hour. Because we got 2 1,000 drops. And an epic Valky. Doing really good on loot. Oh yeah, if pet gnomes appeared in Explore, basically every guild would perpetually always have a gnome active. They actually deliberately kept it like that to actually give some kind of value to PvP. Because PvP hasn't really had that much value for a while. It's one of the few things that it still has that's valuable. Because yeah, most people farm in Explore. Like, I'm pretty sure 80 to 90% of the farming in the current state of the game is specifically in Explore. Just because PvP hasn't been that good for a while. Arena, most people don't care you do it for doing. And nothing else is infinite, pretty much. Those are the only few. What do we go for here? I'll take, doesn't really matter. I'll take yellow. Oh, we gained a level. Let me go hand out the code. Code number 2. Alright, there we go. Let me go hand out the other one. I did say we'd do it when we hand out the level. And it just happens to be almost on top of the other key. Let's see. Oh, that would help if I grab another code. I was almost going to give you the same code again. That wouldn't help. Put that there, put that there, put that there, put that there, put that there. Grab the whole thing. And there goes go. There's the second redeem code. Use on gemsofwar.com if the game code section. Your invite code will be found in your settings menu. Well, you guys already know. I just explained this like 5 minutes ago. And there we go. And we also got our event key and 100 glory from the level up. Though that's not part of the reward, of course. The 2 treasure maps, 1 gem key, 200 souls, and 2,500 gold is. Right, there we go. Okay, let's go back to farming. Hopefully we can get another epic Valky. One can hope. Or 1,000 glory. 1,000 glory is also good. Or a normal Valky. Valky is also good. That is none of those 3 things. That's actually her worst drop, though it's still a good drop. Her worst drop is so good that I believe it's better than 80% of all gnome drops. There are very few that's actually worse. 200 glory is worth about 9 gems. And that is better than quite a few of the other gnome drops. Probably about 70% actually. That's pretty good value. I have no problem, everyone, for the codes. Not often do we hand out 2 on a stream. But we shall today. Oh, the Valky! There's the other Valky I wanted. Nice. There we go. 551. Some pretty decent numbers. Keep it going. It's been a really good hour. If we get one more epic Valky, we pretty much got more this hour than the entirety of farming prior. Not counting pity. Yeah, Voldiven can be a little discouraging some hours when you go like multiple hours that are bad luck. But it just takes that one really lucky good hour. And you get all of the loots. If anyone still has any other questions I think want me to go over, do let me know. Vault events are a good time to ask. You're watching at your son's basketball game? I used to do some sports when I was younger. Mostly baseball and soccer. 1,000 glory again. I definitely preferred soccer. I don't really understand the point of baseball. Like, for, like, 90% of the game, you're, like, standing there doing almost nothing. It's a really weird sport. Like, soccer, you're always active. Same as football and stuff like that. So I'm not a fan of football. Oh, so did I say basketball? I meant baseball. Basketball is a bit better, though. Basketball is almost like soccer, but vertically. Kind of. Not exactly, though. Body contact always seemed weirder in basketball, though. Like, it seems like you have to be so much more cautious compared to soccer or football. I know soccer is football. You know what I mean when I say football. In that context, when I say football, I mean American football. And when I say soccer, I mean football. According to, like, the rest of the world. I'm a big fan of watching tennis. I'm not sure why. It's like one of the only sports I actually like to watch. Soccer is pretty much the only sport I like to play. And tennis is the only sport I like to watch. It's a weird combination. Hey, Volky! Gosh, this hour's been going good. 2 Volkies and an epic Volky this hour. And a lot of 1,000 glories. There we go. Very solid hour. If I ever have kids, I wonder what sports they would get into, if even any. I haven't played any sports for a very long time, though. Unless marching band counts as a sport. Ha! Actually, in some states, it is being considered a sport now. There's a lot of exercise you have to do for it as well. It's a lot more of a mental sport than a physical one, though you do still need to be physically fit for it, though. Also, I was so much thinner back then, too. I was still 6 foot, but I was like 180 pounds then. I mean, 180, I mean 130. I was like super thin back then. You got 20 Volky so far. Nice. We're at 12. Counting pity. counting the shiny epic Volky. Imagine in the 50s, people used to watch baseball on the radio. Though some of those announcers could be pretty hype. I can actually see that being fun. Only if the announcer was absolutely amazing. Oh, you're at 1250. That's pretty nice. That means you got double the amount of Volkies. We're actually doing pretty bad on normal Volkies right now. Oh, yeah, not super, super bad. Relative to time grinded, it's not that bad. We're definitely not on the luckier side. At least in regard to total Volkies. But that's pretty much the easiest way to tell if you're doing good or bad luck. If you're around 6 or 7 pity keys, and the amount of Volkies found is that same number, you have super bad luck. That's pretty much the easiest way to determine it. Especially if it's still by 7. But even by 6, that's still towards the unlucky side. If you're at like the end of 6, about to hit 7, and still only have 6 Volkies or less. Not counting pity, of course. There's nothing that can be done about the luck. Just more grinding and hoping the rest of the grind isn't as unlucky. Also, where are the gnomes hiding? We're doing so good. But how quick this team does battles, we should find a gnome pretty much every 2 minutes. Because it's about 1 to 15 battles. Which means in 2.5 minutes we should find a gnome. Or, you know, every 2.5 minutes. Look at the EXP bar already move. You can almost visibly see it moving when we're using this team. It's because it goes so quick. And even longer battles still give the same amount of EXP. EXP is based on how many things you kill times your bonuses. So it doesn't matter if the battle takes like 2 or 3 minutes because it's a PvP battle or dungeon, or delve I mean, or if it's just one battle like this, still gives the same amount of EXP. Oh, someone in our guild got a pet, thank you. Unfortunately, it's not a good one, though the person had no control over that. Unfortunately, it's one of the bad ones. One of the ones we've had maxed for a very long time. Or I think so. I was like double checking if it was the case. Yep, it's been maxed for a while. It's Drifting Sands. A little rockworm pet. I just realized something. How could they? They don't have a rockworm in Puzzle Quest 3. That was such a funny troop in Puzzle Quest 1. Just because the exact same thing is in Gems of War. But I didn't notice that. There's actually not one in Puzzle Quest 3. They need to add one. Which is kind of funny because you can actually see some of the older Gems of War assets that are also being reused for Puzzle Quest 3. It's pretty funny. Not too many of them, though. I think the most noteworthy one is the victory screen is actually used to be Gems of War's old victory screen back in the day. As far as the graphic for it. Gems of War has gone through a lot of graphics, though. Switched its victory screen at least like 4 times. They just didn't know what they wanted to do with it. But some of it was because they kept adding more and more resources. And then they were like, okay, we just need a screen that will fit every resource in it. And then they were like, oh, let's just do this. And then, okay, let's do that. And then this is what they ended up going with at this point. Since it fits all the loot in. But they've gone through quite a few iterations of it. The one for Treasure Hunt used to look a lot cooler than the one that they have now, though. I do have to say. But they end up changing it at some point. Oh, a gem key. Not the key we're looking for, but still a key. All keys are welcome. But better keys are more welcome. Scout. Everyone's tired tonight. Let's see. I'll take that over. Speaking of that, I think we're going to call it a wrap after we find this next gnome. If we could find this next gnome. It's out there somewhere, there he is. Epic Volkey, go. Make this the best hour ever. Oh, useless gold. Still a really good hour. Can't complain about an Epic Volkey and 2 Volkeys in an hour. This is some very solid loot. Ah, there we go. We found our Epic Volkey this weekend. 12 total so far, counting Pity. And we'll keep going. But we'll be back tomorrow night. Same time as always. 1 hour prior to now tomorrow. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll have another code then. And we'll go from there. But anyways, guys, enjoy your weekend. Hope you'll have the best of luck with the grinds. And yeah, don't forget, it's all of the rest of today, tomorrow, and Sunday, so still plenty of time. Actually, the timer's pretty much right there. 2 days, 5 hours, and 59 minutes is how much time there's still left to grind. So still plenty of time if you haven't even started yet. Definitely make sure to grind at least for a couple hours because you get a lot of pity keys up front. It's really front loaded with pity keys, so always get some amount of guarantee loot, even if you get really bad luck. And you can keep going and hopefully getting a bunch of Vault keys and epic Vault keys. But anyways, guys, I'll catch you guys soon. Hope you all have a wonderful weekend, and catch you later. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you all so much for watching, as always. Greatly appreciated.